Okay, this video is going to start lesson 1.6 on multiplying and dividing real numbers. And you're going to have 3 videos that are going to cover section 1.6. All right, the rules for multiplying and dividing are pretty simple. It's the same rule for both multiplication and division. If the 2 numbers you have both have the same sign, your answer is going to be positive. And if the 2 numbers have different signs, your answer is going to be negative. All right, so problem number 1, here I have one positive number and a negative number. So these are different signs, so I know my answer is going to be negative. And 5 times 6 is 30, so my answer here is negative 30. Problem 2, my numbers here both have the same signs. They're both negatives. So my answer is going to be positive, and 3 times 12 is 36. So my answer is positive 36. Problem number 3 of negative 4 times 0. Now this problem doesn't really fall into that category of having same signs or different signs because 0 is neutral. So it's not positive or negative. Anything times 0 is always going to be 0. So negative 4 times 0 is 0. Problem number 4, I have negative 12 divided by 2, so I have different signs, right? One positive and one negative. So the answer here is going to be negative 6. Problem 5, I have a negative divided by a negative, so I have same signs, so the answer is positive. So 14 divided by 2 is 7. Problem 6, now you could think of this as a division problem, or you could think about it as a fraction. Either way, when you have 0 here in the numerator, 0 divided by anything is going to give you 0. Now, problem 7, you have 0 in the denominator, or you're trying to divide by 0. Remember, you cannot divide by 0, so the answer here is undefined. Problem number 8, you have a negative times a negative, so you have a positive answer. Now, if you need to, you can come over here and rewrite this over on the side and multiply 1/2 times 1/8 if it helps you to see it without those negatives. And then multiply over here, get your answer, and then be sure that your final answer over here is positive as well. And that's just 1/16. Remember that you can just multiply straight across. 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 8 is 16. Problem number 9, I have 40 times negative 1/8. So I have a positive times a negative, so I know that my answer is going to be negative. And again, if you need to come over here on the side and just do some scratch work and pretend for a second that this is just 40 times 1/8, and go ahead and multiply this out like we learned in our first section, and then make sure my final answer is negative. We'll say 8 goes into 40. 5 times 1 is 5. So this answer is actually going to be negative 5. Problem 10, I have a negative divided by a negative, so I know that answer is going to be positive. And remember that when we're dividing fractions, we flip the second fraction upside down and multiply. So I could actually write this as positive 2/3 times positive 7/6, because I know that a negative times a negative is positive, positive times a positive is positive. So from here, I can do this a couple of different ways. I'm going to rewrite this 6 as 2 times 3. And then I can see that this 2 in the numerator and this 2 in the denominator are going to cancel out. So I end up multiplying straight across on the numerators here. And I have 7, and then in the denominators I have 9.